So this is 2.2c in college trig functions of non-acute angles, and we're just getting ready to start example 4, which says the cosine of 120 degrees plus 2 sine squared of 60 degrees minus tangent squared of 30 degrees. All right, so what they're asking us to do is evaluate. They want a number. What is this equal to? All right, so let's look at a couple things here before we get started. One is, remember, this 2 here, the sine squared of 60 is a way of writing. We're going to take the sine of 60 and square it. Tangent of 30 and square it. And then whatever we get for the sine of 60 and square, we're going to multiply it by 2. So looks like complicated stuff, but it's really not too bad. So, cosine of 120. I still like to use my little table here. So the cosine of 120 is going to be about right there. It's going to be a 60-degree angle. So that's 1, 2, square root of 3. So the cosine of 120 is going to have 60 degrees as its reference angle. So cosine of 120 is going to be adjacent over hypotenuse, 1/2. And all students take calculus. Cosine is negative in the second quadrant. So I've got negative 1/2 right there, and I'm done with cosine of 120. All right, I'm going to put 2, and then I'm going to take the sine of 60. Well, the sine of a 60-degree angle is one that's there. And let's see, if this is 1, this is 2, this is square root of 3. So it helps to memorize these. So this 2 is from there. And we're going to take the sine of 60. Sine of 60 is opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite is the square root of 3. Hypotenuse is 2. Okay, so now we've just found that. Alright, so let's erase some of this so I can keep going. And we'll make another table here for my tangent. Tangent of 30. Okay, a tangent is 1, 2, square root of 3 for a 30, 60, 90. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. So that's going to be minus. The opposite is 1. The adjacent is the square root of 3. We can't have it that way. So let's do this. 1 over square root of 3. We have to multiply top and bottom by square root of 3 over the square root of 3 and get the square root of 3 over 3. So that's minus the square root of 3 over 3. So there is my math problem right there without any trig stuff in it. Oh, and this has to be squared. So looking at this problem right here, again, this 1/2 came from here, this came from the sine of 60, and this came from the tangent of 30. So we've got negative 1/2 plus 2 times square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is 3 over 2 times 2 is 4. Square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3 over 9. So we multiply this out, and we have negative 1/2 plus 6 over 4 minus 3 over 9. Oh, golly. Now we have to find common denominators. Let's see. 9, 18, 27, 36. So common denominators are 36. So if the 1/2, if the 2 is a 36, the top has to be an 18. And if this is a 36, I had to do 4 times 9 to get 36. So 6 times 9 is 54, I think. And 36 multiplied 9 times 4, so we multiply 3 times 4. And negative 18 plus 54 is 36 minus 12 is 24 over 36. And then we reduce that to 12 over 18, 6 over 9, 2 over 3. So when we take all of this stuff and add them up, we get 2/3. That's example 4. In example 5, they're asking us to use coterminal angles, which I always do. I don't even consider using anything else, so they don't even have to say that really. But they give us the cosine of 780. So again, the cosine, the angle is bigger than 360, so we're going to take away 360. And it's still bigger than 360, so we're going to take another 360 away. And it's 60. Okay, I can do that. I draw a 60-degree angle. Short side is 1, hypotenuse is 2, middle side is the square root of 3. It's just 1, 2, 3. It's just making sure that you call this one the square root of 3 instead of this one. I get them mixed up sometimes, but it's short and longest are 1 and 2. Okay, so that being the case, now we take the cosine of what we have there. And all we really need to know is the length of the sides. So cosine of 780 is adjacent over hypotenuse, which is 1 over 2. And we're done, because it's in the first quadrant and everything's positive in the first quadrant. So part B, tangent of -405. Notice, almost every one of these I draw a XY axis. I've got to see a picture of these triangles because we're not just relying on a calculator, clicking in a few buttons and let it do all the work. We need to figure out how we're getting the answer we're getting it. So that's why I draw the picture. So this negative sign here means that I'm going the other way around. So there's 360, and it's another 45 to get to 405. So here's my triangle, and that's a 45-degree triangle, so I know that's 1, and that's square root of 2. So now all I have to do is take the tangent, which is the opposite over adjacent. The opposite is 1, the adjacent is 1, and I also know all students take calculus. Tangent is negative in that quadrant, so my answer is -1. So see, we didn't even do anything with the 405. Once we found out where our angle was, the rest of it we did just with this triangle here, and we ignored the 405. We just put the answer down when we were done. Okay, example 6 is going to stretch your noggin a little bit. It says find all values of theta if theta is in the interval 0 degrees, 360 degrees. That means that theta is somewhere in here. It's not less than 0, it's not greater than 360. We didn't continue on with this around and around. We just did it one possible time around to 360 degrees. Okay. And what else do they say? They say that the cosine of theta equals negative square root of 2 over 2. Alright, there's another clue we have here, right there. In which quadrant is cosine negative? All students take calculus. So, they're all positive here. Cosine is positive here. So cosine is negative here and it's negative there. So, which of those quadrants are we looking at? Because it could be in either quadrant 2 or quadrant 3. So because there's no way of finding out whether it's in quadrant 3 or in quadrant 2, we're going to find the answers for both of them because it said find all values. So there's no way we know whether it's in quadrant 3 or 4, and it doesn't really matter. We're just going to find both of them. So let's see. If it's this blue triangle right here, then I'm going to use yellow to label. Then this is 1, and this is square root of 2. In fact, this is -1. And this is 1, negative 1 actually, and this is square root of 2. So we got all that, but what are they asking for? The values of theta. What is theta equal to? Well, theta is an angle. So I'm interested in finding out, and let's do this in orange so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm interested in finding out this angle here and this angle, which actually I'm not interested in those angles. I'm actually interested, and I apologize for that, this angle and this angle. Okay, well, I know that this angle here is 45 and this whole thing is 180, so 180 minus 45 is going to be a 135 degree angle for this orange one right there. This one right here is going to be 180 plus 45, which is going to give me 225. So my theta is going to be 225 and 135. Now I used these reference angles in order to do that, but my actual angle from here to here is 135 and from here to here is 225. And that's it for lesson 2.2.